So, are people in the West finally starting to wake up to the dangers of having our universities pump out a modern, psychotic red guard? Because what we've seen the last few days is taking the blinders off for a lot of people. Here's an article: Harvard student groups who blamed Israel for Hamas terror attack face backlash from corporate world. Now, this has been happening at universities all across the Western world, in the US and Canada, Australia, everywhere. But Harvard would be the most notable of all of them. And yes, you've got some students now who are backtracking, right? Now that they're worried about their own futures, their own financial future. But this didn't just happen yesterday. This has been going on for a long time now. Remember that thing all those comfortable middle-class leftists were pretending that they cared about? BLM? Yeah, they've been longtime fans of Hamas. In fact, one of the co-founders called for the eradication of Israel. And when you have an institution like Harvard, that's supposed to be the best and the brightest. These are supposed to be the most capable people. So it's kind of hard to give them a pass. And I'm assuming that if they are in such support of Hamas, that they must have read the Hamas Charter, the founding document of that group. Here in Article 13, it says, "There is no negotiated settlement possible. Jihad is the only answer." So that's pretty explicit, isn't it? And their credo is from a hadith, and they talk about how the stones and trees will tell Muslims to go and kill the Jews that are hiding behind them. This is all pretty explicit stuff. They tell you exactly what they think. Yeah, they're not calling for a two-state solution or peace. And yes, Hamas is not all of the Palestinian people, but these student groups explicitly support Hamas. And if they're at Harvard, I'm not giving them a pass. I'm assuming they've read that, and they know exactly what they're supporting. Here's a tweet from one of the students. "I'm a Harvard law student, so I know many members had no say in whether their orgs signed either letter. Many weren't even notified that their orgs were considering doing so. No need for this level of harassment." And here from Wilfred Riley, he says, "Harvard students are legit worried that their open Hamas support will affect future job opportunities with Goldman." That's what it comes down to. So, I mean, they all had to know the environment there. They all had to know what people were thinking, where the support was. I mean, maybe they should have said something sooner. Here, in the days since over 30 Harvard organizations signed a joint statement declaring Israel entirely responsible for the Iranian-backed Palestinian terror group Hamas's massacre of innocent civilians in Israel, a number of students affiliated with the signatories have attempted to distance themselves from the sentiments. Many made the move after prominent billionaire Bill Ackman said he and other CEOs were interested in knowing the names of students in the groups so as to ensure they did not inadvertently hire them in the future. I wouldn't want to hire them either. I guess this is what you call consequence culture, huh? Now, look, I don't have a Middle East peace plan. I don't know. Fighting's been going on there since the beginning of history. What I can tell you is what Hamas itself says in its own founding document, and what, from the river to the sea really means. And I'm not giving far leftists or the woke, whatever you want to call them, any benefit of the doubt anymore. I'm not giving that to BLM. I'm not giving it to these Harvard students or any students or in any of the many universities across the Western world that immediately came out and supported Hamas. What concerns me is that this is happening in the Western world, that we are training a generation of red guards, of ideological fanatics who will justify the worst crimes imaginable. Are they doing it because they really believe it or they just want to fit in? I don't care. I think the West has to have a serious conversation with itself about what we want our societies to be like. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.